Welcome, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to have you guys here with me today. My name is Karen. If you are new to me, I'm coming to you right outside of San Francisco in Marin County. And it definitely had a big weather change in the last 24 hours. And if you are a migrator, you know that doesn't necessarily work well for all of us. But we're thrilled to be here with you tonight. And in the chat, I have the lovely Bailey, who's going to be there to support you. We love having her. Our schedules don't always coincide, and so we don't get to necessarily work with each other that often. So it's always nice to be able to catch up. Oh my gosh, Lake Tahoe had snow. Yeah, yesterday it definitely got a lot colder. I'm in my silken Sonder sweatshirt, which is one of my favorite. Yes, I love the sweatshirt. We do have merch. I think this was like the first set, and I think the script is a little bit bigger now that you can actually get them, which may mean that I need to order some more because I do love it. A little housekeeping, make sure your chat is set to everyone. If it is set to host and panelists, Bailey and I can see exactly what you're saying, which is awesome. But if you're like, why is no one commenting? That is probably why. We have over 100 people at the social tonight, so we're thrilled and we're going to go ahead and jump in to get started. So some of those community guidelines: be kind and courteous to yourself and others. And I really do consider like being kind to yourself the number one, and also be kind to Bailey and myself. Sometimes I know you can be frustrated and such, but we're real people too. No promotions or spam. Respect everyone's privacy. Even if you meet someone outside of Sonder Club, you know them in real life, what's said here stays here, like in Vegas. No hate speech or bullying. Limit repetitive product and accessory questions. Those are great to post in Sonder Club. Bailey and I do not work for headquarters, so we can't help you with your account. But if you have any issue with your account, you're going to email hello@silkensonder.com and they will definitely help you out. Oh, Taylor, he's right here beside me. I'll have him make an appearance. I have to admit, he had a little cyst on his back, and so he has stitches in his back, so he doesn't look as handsome as normal. And then remember, Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community, but you are responsible for your own emotions, well-beings, and decisions. Sometimes these definitely can get a little deep. I don't think there will be tears today, but we will be diving into some work. And I'll just give you a little heads up about that before we actually dive into it. We're going to be looking at our own superpowers, and a lot of times it's hard to brag on ourselves. So I'm going to give you some scaffolding and some questions that are going to give you different ways to look at it that I hope will make it easier to be able to brag on yourself. As you know, this month's theme is perseverance. I have been absolutely loving it. I don't want this month to end, honestly. It's definitely been very encouraging for me. Some months just hit right for you at the right times and some don't. And you're not alone when that happens. It happens to us as well. So our agenda is our perseverance activity. That one is not in your journal. You'll only find it here at today's social. So you can do it on a notes page, on a separate sheet of paper, or area that you like to repurpose. We're going to be looking at our perseverance letter on page 16. And then, as I mentioned, our superpowers. And that's why we had that lovely superhero song at the beginning. And that journal page will be page 15. So this is our very first activity. You're going to flip to that notes page, a scratch pad for the week, your thoughts, journal, sticky notes, anywhere works for you on this one. I want you to think of something you've been working on. Are there any obstacles in your way keeping you from completing it? What steps can you take to help yourself move around this obstacle? So I'm going to share mine, and then I'll go back and put this prompt back up when I give you time to work. So I am opening a Pilates studio. If you did not know, we were hoping next week we were going to open. It looks like we'll probably be second or third week in November. And here are some of the obstacles that we've been running into. The painters are running late. So how can I move around that obstacle? I can prep as much as I can. And I don't necessarily mean the physical space, like typing it out, but doing as much work on the social media to get ahead, the website, our branding, those types of tasks. And also putting all those orders into Amazon so that when it is painted, I can unbox and just throw everything together beautifully. The reformers. are the Pilates equipment. They are being shipped tomorrow from Sacramento to the Bay Area. We did not think it was going to take 10 business days, but apparently it is. So we're going to see if we can get that website finished and all the branding in place. Software prep has to be done, and there are some glitches. All software anyone who works with software knows, doesn't matter how well intended it is, there's always a glitch here or there. So how are we going to move around it? We have some clients that we consider friends that have given us help. So we're going to offer a few free classes to those people so they can practice booking and making sure that the steps are as clear as possible. And if they're not, then we can absolutely create some videos or some information on how to make it easier on our landing page. Our branding, we're working with a branding coach, a very expensive branding coach, and our branding is not done because it takes a ton of time. So I'm going to do what is really hard for me, and I'm going to ask someone to bend their schedule to fit mine and give us a second time next week. It goes against my personality, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And then our retail space is unclear as far as we're going to sell like socks and athleisure wear. And I have some that's ordered, but I don't know how I'm going to style it. So I need to look and see what other studios have done and try to take some inspiration from those things. So we can't always control everything. And I will say that that has absolutely been the hardest part about this process is I want everyone on my timeline and nobody's on my timeline, only me. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to give you some time. I'd love to hear one or more of your obstacles and how you are getting around it. Oops, that's not how you spell obstacle. I was trying to stop the music at the exact same time that I was trying to type. I think it was Lisa was talking about like sometimes 10 minutes is all the workout you can get in. 10 minutes is better than nothing. Yeah, move that body for 10 minutes. Someone else was talking about their Amazon habit of shopping. I think most of us can relate to that, especially around this time of year when we start buying for holidays and decorations and things. I mean, literally yesterday, I bought these cute little black and white cups for popcorn that I'm taking to my aqua aerobics Halloween party. So I get it. Probably didn't need to do it, but I'm still really excited to share them with the other people. So sometimes we can think about putting an obstacle in our way if we're trying to stop something, or trying to take an obstacle out of our way if we are trying to accomplish something. So one of the things I could have put on there is that I want to be able to print things from Canva, etc., as much as possible for my studio. And because I know that if I have to go somewhere to print it out, like at FedEx or Staples, that is a barrier between me and getting something done. So it's not going to get done. So sometimes I have to think about removing steps, little things that will make it harder. Someone's talking about setting out their gym clothing the night before. That's one less step. I know some people even sleep in it. So that's one less step to help them get ready for the next day. Meal prep is definitely like a big one for me as well. It's hard to do. I'm not saying it's easy, but man, when I do it, everything just goes so much smoother. Well, thank you for participating in that activity. And even if you're not sure of the solution now, maybe when you are moving your body 10 minutes while you're walking the dog, or you're in the shower or the bath, or you're crocheting or doing needlepoint, or maybe chopping those onions for your soup that you're about to put in the crock pot, you may find that that solution comes to you. Oh yeah, Bailey and I both love floral arranging. I tell my husband it's my meditation, for sure. So we are moving on to page 16 in your journal. I'm gonna flip to it really quick. I had to go to the very last page of my notes page because I've written so much this past month. Okay, so the prompt is, when the going gets tough, what can you say to yourself when something is difficult? Write down phrases to encourage yourself between the rungs of the ladder to help you keep going. So if you want to sketch a ladder on top of this letter and take that approach versus writing a letter to yourself, that's absolutely fine. If you want to write a letter to yourself, that is also fine. Now, I kind of took it in a different way. As I mentioned, I'm opening a studio. I need a little bit of a pep talk for myself. So I went and I looked at affirmations that I found that resonated with me. And I think I'm actually going to take one of these affirmations and put it as a background on my phone, maybe even print one of them out and hang them in my office. So that is front and center. So some of the ones that I wrote down are: my fierce commitment to my goals keeps my persistence alive. I give myself permission to be persistent and courageous. My persistence changes setbacks backs into comebacks. I am persistent, patient, and productive. In spite of my fears, I persist. I am proud of my decision to show up for whatever life shows me, however painful or humbling it may be. I am here for everything and nothing less. So I think that one, that last one at the bottom, is the one that I am going to type up for myself. You might have a different idea of how you want to approach this. Maybe you want to do a sketch. There is no right or wrong way. This is whatever you need to give yourself a pep talk that you give yourself the pep talk that you need right now. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and give you some time to work. Remember, you can share as much or as little or none in the chat as you want, but we are here to support you and lift you up through the good and the bad. I love reading the chat. So much love going to those of you who are struggling right now, and so much love to those of you who are writing those letters to yourself that I am worthy, I can do hard things. I love so much of it. So we're going to move on to our next prompt, and it's going to be page 15. Page 15. Yay. Okay. I remembered. Good. So I want you to think about if you were someone who did Ikigai with those three Venn diagrams where the three intersected. Our superpowers are actually a combination of your core values. And some of you may have done some of the daily rituals that go about the core values, or you may have even purchased that class that Meha directs about the core values. If you haven't, it was really powerful. Just make sure that you know you need to print some stuff out because you're physically manipulating little pieces of paper. So your core values, your interests, natural and acquired skills and ability. And so it is where all of those things intersect that is your superpower. And it's kind of interesting. I really lucked out. I did a fitness class on how to find your superpowers to give the most for fitness instructors to be able to share it. And so I have done taken some of their prompts to share with you today, which I thought was quite coincidental. And before we even get to the page on 15, I have two slides I'm going to let you sit with a little bit. And maybe you are going to, on some scratch paper on a notes page, jot down some of the thoughts that come out. Like I said before, it is hard to brag on yourself. It is definitely hard. I think a lot of times, if you have trauma in your background, and most of us have some sort of trauma of one way or another, we can learn to protect ourselves in certain ways. And one of the ways that a lot of times we protect ourselves is that we kind of shrink back a little bit and agree with everyone. And so it goes against a lot of our natures to be able to speak like, I'm really good at this. I do this super well. I help people by doing this kind of thing. So you can make a Venn diagram of your core values if you know them, interests, and skills. That's one way to look at this. You could also just brainstorm one or more of these questions. What do you believe? What do you dislike about others? Why would I include that? When we know what we dislike, it makes it clear of the things that are important to us. For me, I'm a very timely person. I do not like when people are running late, especially if they don't reach out to you and let you know that they're running late. That's like something that's very important to me. And so what does that show to me? That I like people that are respectful of my time. What is important to you about what you provide to your community? Maybe you do volunteer work. Maybe you're in a service industry and, like a nurse or a teacher. Maybe you do work in your church. Whatever it is, what is important to you about what you provide to your community? And maybe right now you're not in a position to be able to do it because you have two kids and you're working a full-time job and there is no time because you're homeschooling those kids too because, COVID and all those things. It doesn't have to necessarily be what you're currently doing. It could be something you did in the past. It could be something that you're wanting to do. So don't limit yourself to like, well, I'd really like to volunteer at an animal shelter, but I'm not currently, so I can't write that down. No, you can write it down. Absolutely write it down. What do you believe you can do for others? So not asking what is it that you're currently doing, what do you believe you can do to help others? Okay, so I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to play a couple of songs and let you either write those 3 circles. You could make the Venn diagrams, or you can just brainstorm about some of these questions. It can be stream of consciousness where it's just like you're writing whatever comes to mind and you're not editing, not punctuation. It could be bullets. Maybe you're making doodles. There's no right or wrong way to approach this. Okay, I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to give you about that much time to work on this. I just love the conversations that are happening. Those of us who have definitely persevered because we haven't had choices, like Marty was talking about, that it is hard because it's like, why, why me? Why is it always me having to push through? And I definitely have had that kind of feeling of lack of support, no one to be there for you. Um, and yeah, it can be hard to see that as a superpower. So maybe you change perseverance to another word, and that's okay to do too. I know if you don't know what next month is, I won't say it, but that theme is going to be very difficult for me because I'm not in touch with my family because of boundaries that I've put up, the ones that are still living. And I'm choosing not to do those bullet journal prompts. I'm choosing to use it to protect my feelings, um, and use the planner portion. And maybe I'll look up some journaling prompts when I feel like it in Sonder Club. It is absolutely okay to make this the way it works for you. Yeah, Monica, it was like, oh, it's gonna be hard for me. Yeah, and for some of you, it may be totally. Yeah. Okay, so I have some more brainstorming. So maybe those haven't helped you narrowed it down yet. So I'm gonna give you some more that might help. What has been your most rewarding moment in your life so far? What are the qualities that make this moment so memorable? And it really doesn't have to be like this, like when I went and got my diploma for my PhD or my wedding day. Maybe you helped a friend with a really hard time, and maybe that's what it is. For me, the first thing that came up is that someone posted in Sonder Club about a choice they made based on some of those Sonder clubs. And I don't think I've ever been prouder of anyone or of myself. So there you go. Um, Also, list some things that do come easy to you. Like, I'm a natural cook. I don't know where I get it from. My mom was not. I'm not great at baking, but I am a natural cook. And so I can list that. It doesn't have to be something academic. I'm a horrible speller. There's plenty of things but list some things that come easy to you. I'm not a good snowboarder, but I'm good at Pilates. I'm not great at Zumba, but I keep people laughing when I teach my aqua classes. What are some of the high points in your life? And yeah, we've all had lots of valleys, and there can be some really crappy times. But I bet if you think about it, you can come up with one or two high points where things were maybe even this much better. Name a time you showed up for something, someone, or something. How did it make you feel? So I'm going to leave you for about 5 minutes to kind of ponder these and see if there's anything that comes out of that might help you come up with some of those superpowers. I'm very proud that I don't ever adopt full bred dogs unless they are from a rescue. So, that is something that makes me feel really good. I don't judge anyone who doesn't. His best friends are two little Italian greyhounds. But for me, that's something that I'm able to do and contribute. And so maybe I need to explore that a little bit more of why does it make me feel good? What is it about that? So, once again, take it or leave it. I'm just trying to brainstorm you thinking in different ways to be able to get the superpowers that you're going to see like this in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm glad this is making you revisit this and look at it a little bit of a different way. We are going to visit the superpowers. And remember, you do not have to fill this all out right now. It's okay to fill in 1 or 2 stars and think about the rest. Or maybe you add stars like Bailey's like, oh, I'm adding some new ones. Love that. So here's mine. You may find them frivolous or silly, and that's okay too. But I am really good at the Care Bear share. If you're an 80s kid like myself, their little hearts would like glow. And I feel like I can, in a fitness class, make that glow happen for those people so that they can know that Care Bear share. I'm very honest. I'm very truthful and I value that as much as timeliness. I'm not afraid to fail. That's new for me since Silk and Saunders. I never would have thought that when I started being a facilitator, I was still working as the children's director at a health club. I hadn't even certified in Pilates. So in less than 3 years, I've completed all the certifications, including health coaching, breath work, working on meditation and such. And I'm starting my own business. So I guess I'm not afraid to fail anymore. I used to be. I feel confident. I feel okay coming on camera without makeup on or my hair done and not moving that filter all the way over. I feel like I'm a really good motivator. I feel like I can make my parents proud by really living my life. My parents died early and didn't travel and do the things they wanted to do, and I definitely have. I feel like I'm understanding, that I can empathize with people. I'm caring. I'm a go-getter. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I'm authentic, I'm high energy, and I'm a pretty good cook. So there's mine. So remember, I filled in all of mine because I knew y'all would be looking at it, but it's okay to fill out just some. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to fill them in. Let us know what it is that you are thinking, or if you're having a hard time coming up with the right word for that superpower. That was such a wonderful, wonderful hour to spend with each other. I know, Taylor, it really did go so fast. I'm so glad you were here with us, and I hope that you consider sharing your superpowers with others in Sonder Club. It is an intimidating page, more so than even the letter, in my opinion. And if we are willing to be vulnerable and share ours, maybe we can have other people in Saunders Club do that as well. I want to let you guys know that I will be hosting on Halloween the monthly setup, and then you're not going to see me for the month of November. I'm not saying goodbye, but I am working on my studio and my social media for Q the Core for my Pilates studio. So I'm setting those boundaries in place. So don't think that I've left you. I'm just giving myself time to figure out how to make it all work. Refer a friend still going on. Upgrade to an annual subscription and save $210 and see what's new in the app. And don't forget about that YouTube page. We are so happy to spend this evening with you. And I felt that was just a really nice way to be able to spend time together. I'm trying to put my playlist in. It's not wanting to cut and paste. I just have a brand new computer. So it is Sweater Weather Instrumentals on Spotify. And I will lead us out with one of the songs that I absolutely related to when I was in high school. When this song came out, I started antidepressants at 16. It was about the time this song came out, and it really was the first time I heard someone describe depression or what it was that it felt like. And so it's a beautiful little song, and there's a little bee in the video if you're old enough to remember it. So have a wonderful, oh, thank you, Bailey. Have a great rest of your night. Let's do No Rain.
Say